Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm taking you to a place called Travel Town located in Griffith Park, California. It consists of magnificent steam locomotives and diesel locomotives from the late 1800s and around 1940s. If you have any children, they will be delighted to visit this place. Enthusiasts will enjoy this great place as well. Travel Town is open Tuesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's closed on Mondays. There's free parking and the entrance is free as well.
Okay, now
I'm gonna give you a short tour of this place. I'm gonna give you like what some of the trains are, their numbers, the engine numbers, and when they were built.
that was the original station, no?
Well, the first thing you're gonna notice when you get inside the park, either you go right or left. But if you go left, you're gonna see this Pacific Electric wedding station. The station that you see is not the original, but it's mostly a reconstruction of the original station that was here. The local people used to take the trolley or tram to go from here to downtown Los Angeles. And now you're gonna see the display of steam locomotives that were brought here during the probably about 1952, and it covered from the 1880s through the 1930s and 1940s. Most of these trains are steam locomotives. This is engine number 3025, and there were about 13 of these kind of trains built in the United States. When you're here personally, like in front of this train, you're gonna notice how massive this train is. I mean, these driving wheels, this one that you see here, those are humongous. This is like 81 inches. I am 5'7", right? 76 inches. So this is like bigger than me, taller than me, 81 inches. So one of the things you're gonna notice also, this is just like pure American steel. I mean, nothing but steel. You know how cars are right now, like almost plastic and stuff? This is like a straight up steel. It's massive, monstrosity. It's really massive. And these driving wheels, they were designed for high-speed trains, like for passenger trains. This one, for example, even though it weighs about 115 tons, it can go up to 100 miles per hour. This train was built in 1904 by American Locomotive Company in New York.
Wow.
Some of these trains have access to the cab. So if you have children, they're gonna love this place because you're able to get in some of these trains. Not all of them, most of them are off limits because they're restoring them.
Oh wow, there's a lot of gadgets in here.
This whole thing is called a cab. So the cab, that's where the engineers were. And in front of us, this is the firebox. They call it the firebox. That's where you put your coal and the firewood or fuel. And this one is called the tender. That's where you have your coal or your firewood and water. So they used to always have the tender. They call it the tender. And you have your bulbs, your like stuff that regulates the steam or the heat, the brakes. So if you have children, they can come here and play around with them, as long as you don't break them.
Oh yeah, moved a little bit. Wow.
I was wondering if the engineers were exposed to extreme weathers, and actually they did. They were exposed to cold weather. They were exposed to hot weather. Sometimes the cabs have icicles inside. So every time, even nowadays, sometimes they're exposed to be outside the engine.
So now it has a
to see
wagon.
if everything it's in top conditions. And actually they did. They were exposed all this time. They were exposed. So imagine being in the engine cab or being in the train cab, and then you have to put the oil, the fuel, and all that stuff, and then you're exposed to cold, extreme weather. That's amazing. They put up with a lot of stuff,
Okay, it's a
a lot of sacrifice.
passenger wagon. I think they're gonna renovate the whole thing in the future, probably.
These are called passenger cars. It's not a wagon. I thought they were called wagons, but they're not. They're like they're passenger cars. So the wagons are the ones that the horses drawn all the time. You know, you've seen those. So those are wagons, but these are passenger cars. And that's my family coming in right there, a little bit lost, but yeah, we're gonna check those trains that you see there. We're gonna check them out in a couple of minutes. And now we're gonna check a couple of passenger cars. This is a Santa Fe passenger car, and this one, the gray one, is called the Pullman Snack Car, and it was built for the Hutchison Topeka and Santa Fe Railway, and it was built in 1928 by the Pullman Company. The passenger car coming up, the red one on the left hand side, is called the Pullman Dining Car, and it was built in 1921. It has a number 3669, and it was built for the Union Pacific, also built by the Pullman Company. And this one, I believe you can hire, if you want to have a party for the kids. I think you can reserve this place and then have a little party in there.
Yep, you can get inside.
And nobody can get in, only you guys, whoever wants to rent
That's for the
the
members,
passenger
probably.
car. Like right now, I think they're having a party. It could be I think it's gonna be a pretty cool party to have. Okay, now we're gonna go to see the other trains. Right in front of you is the souvenir shop. There are some books there and some toys, train toys, and all the stuff. And now we're going on this side of the railroad tracks. This is engine number 1, and it's called the Conrock Saddle Tank Locomotive, and it was designed by American Locomotive Company Cook's Works in 1925. It's called saddleback because it doesn't have a tender, and instead it is saddled on top of the boiler, as you can see. The weight of the water will cause the driving wheels to have more traction. The train was designed for industrial use only. This kind of train it's called a switcher, and it's usually found in the rail yard. They were used to assemble other trains in order for a locomotive to take over. You also notice that it doesn't have a tender to store water. Without a tender, the train was able to maneuver better in closed spaces, like closed curbs. And what you see in front of you is a tender. Actually, I have two tenders. That's where you store your firewood, your coal, or your water. And this is attached to this engine. This engine number 2 is a Class C shape engine. That's what they call this train. And it was built in 1922 by Lima Locomotive Works. It was primarily used for hauling timber from the Sierra Nevada to Placerville, California. There's a plaque here. You can read it. I think you can use the phone. There's a boiler right there. And you notice they have smaller wheels. These smaller wheels were designed for industrial, not for passenger trains. This is engine 1000. It's called a Mikado type of engine, or a Mikado series. This steam locomotive was built in the 1920s by Alco as number 4 for Heihachi Railroad, but it was sold to a couple of other companies and ultimately ended up sold to Santa Maria Railroad in 1944. It was used for the oil refineries in Santa Maria and also was used for hauling products in the Guadalupe Valley. Sometimes when I see these kind of machines, like right now that I'm seeing all this metal, all this steel, I wonder how much labor went into these trains, right? And not just that, also the engineering, how they build this massive machine. Wow, this is great, man. This is a great site to visit. That's what I keep saying. If you have children, or if you love these trains, antiquities train,
Oh,
1880s,
you can get inside
1900s,
these trains.
you should come and visit this place.
Okay, there's some over there. There's 3 of them on that side.
These engines coming up were used to build the breakwater in San Pedro. I think it's called Angel's Gate. I'm not pretty sure, but it was actually they were used to develop San Pedro's harbor. This is engine number 31, and it was built in 1921 by Davenport Locomotive Works of Davenport, Iowa. It was built for the City of Los Angeles Harbor Department.
Oh, you can see a little bit here. Oh, it's small. Oh, it is for the. It used to carry something. Huh? Oh, it's similar to that one.
They look similar to each other because they were designed to do the same job. This is engine number 32 and was built in 1914 by Alcos Rogers Locomotive Works. And this is engine number 1369. It's called a 3-track Heisler, and it was built in 1918 by Heisler Locomotive Works and was used to haul timber from the forest to the mill in the Sierra Nevada mountains, California. And right in front of you, you're gonna see the gift shop. Here you're gonna find anything related to locomotives, from toys, books, history books, and so on and so on. Right across the railroad tracks, you're gonna see 2 exhibition halls. The one on the left is the Harvest exhibition, right in front of us, right there. And the one on the right, that big building there, is the main exhibition.
XCV. Oh yeah. That's because the XCV home.
Inside the exhibition, you're gonna see all kinds of vehicles related to the oil or the railroad business. This one here, I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it was used to fix the railroad tracks, maybe. I've seen them before, but I'm not quite sure its main function. And this one is an oil truck delivery. It's a delivery oil truck. I thought it was a firefighter truck, but it's not. It's one of those old oil delivery trucks. And the one behind it, it's the same, but I think it was whole joint. Here to give you some information about the vehicle. And this is a Red Crown oil delivery service. And this is the Little General. It was built in 1904, and its main purpose was for the amusement parks in Ohio. It changed several hands until an enthusiast or locomotive Hovitz bought it here in Beverly Hills, and after he passed away, his wife donated it to Town.
Oh, this give you an idea what how the steam engine works. Of rods in there. Steam boiler. So it's a boxcar.
Yeah, it was called a boxcar, but it was also actually this one was called a post office car, and it was used to transport mail and baggage or cargo, or it can be used by both mail and cargo. You can see here as a chest, an old chest. I don't know if it's still original. It looks like it is.
It smells like old wood.
This post office car was built in the 1880s, and it might be in its original state. Next to this post office car, you're gonna see some nice, beautiful restored vintage cars like this one. They might be related one way or the other to early delivery transportation, like this one, Railway Express. You're gonna see some signs like this one here, and they're gonna give you more details about the history of the vehicle in front of it. And this is another boxcar, built in the 1880s, I think. This one I'm not sure what it used for. I've seen it before. I just don't know what used for. Possibly by the mechanics. And these are nice
Yeah.
restored vehicles. I don't know what year, maybe 1930s, 1920s, maybe.
No, no creo. This is called a stock car. They used to bring horses and cows in here.
Yes, this is a Southern Pacific stock car. It was probably built around 1880s, and it was used for transportation of livestock. It looks like it's still in its original condition. It's falling apart, but you can get a sense of how it was.
Wow. So probably in winter the horses were, or the cows were really cold. Let me see. Oh, that's a circus box car. You can see the scratches over there. See the scratches? They're from the leopard.
Now with Exhibition B, Harvey House, and it tells the story of how one man called Frederick Henry Harvey came up with the idea of developing lunchrooms in train stops or stations. His first lunchroom was in Topeka, Kansas in 1976. By 1883, he had 17 of those lunchrooms on the Santa Fe line. Here you're gonna see beautiful designs of what seems to be Native American motifs from the Southwest. All these objects were used to serve the passengers on board during their trip. And these are Native American paintings from the Southwest, and these are like deities, I think, from the Apaches or somewhere. And this describes the Harvey Girls. I think there was a group called the Harvey Girls, and this area displays the uniforms that they used to wear. These probably the original chairs that were in the restaurants, in the stations. And here's a man, Frederick Henry Harvey, the one that came up with the idea of serving food on train stations. And then you see a memorabilia of those times. It looks to be souvenirs of some sort. Then there's this map here. I think it describes the route of the Santa Fe rail line, and you can see it goes all the way through the Southwest, and you see some pictures of the
Interesting.
restaurants.
It's a bench, it's the original bench, huh? Waiting room Western Branch Santa Fe Railroad. So it's original, the original one. Wow.
And here I noticed they have the Harvard Girls, where they're famous back in the day, because they have like even songs and possibly a movie too. Were they really that famous? I'm not quite sure. Okay, let's go outside and then we're gonna see the other trains, the other side of the south side, or north side, I should say. There's another bunch of trains and passenger cars. And this is engine number 1273. This locomotive was built in 1921 by Southern Pacific in Sacramento, California. There were 32 of this kind of locomotive. This is a switcher, the one that assemble train so other locomotives can take over. It was in service for 35 years and it logged in 1.5 million miles.
Can you get inside? No, can't see anything.
Unfortunately, you cannot go in top of the cab. It's off limits. So actually, it's only like one, two, maybe three trains that are able. You're gonna be able to get into the cab.
All this locomotive.
This is engine number one. I think it's called the Mariposa. You have a nice history behind it. I'll talk about it later on.
Oh, this is humongous.
This is engine number 4439. Was built in 1918 by Baldwin Locomotive Works for the Union Pacific. There were only about 45 of this series, and is considered one of the last steam engines to work in Los Angeles area.
Wow. Nothing but
You can get inside the cab, and, you can check it out.
wow. A lot of gadgets too.
It seems to be more complete than the previous one. I'm not more stuff in here.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Now we're gonna see the passenger cars and possibly dining cars also. This one seems to the ones we saw in exhibition 8, in the main exhibition, lobster car. Huh?
Was like a booth.
Yeah, this is a caboose. This one was built in 1981. And it seems to be in its original state. As you can tell right away. And here you're gonna have some info about the caboose. Right next to it is engine number 1544 called Electra. It was built in 1902 in Sausalito, California by the North Shore Railroad. It was used during the cleanup for the San Francisco 1906 earthquake and fire. And later on was used as a switcher by the Pacific Electric. And this beauty here They used to be called blimps because of its size. This is an interurban electric railway, number 1543 electric car, built in 1911 for the Southern Pacific's East Bay Electric Lines. It operated in San Francisco, but it was discontinued in 1941, but then was reassigned during World War II to transport troops. And this one here is a narrow gauge caboose built in 1900 and was part of the Oahu Railway and Land Company. The green car coming up is number 36, and it was built by Oahu Railway and Land Company. It is called a combination car because it included two sections where passengers can sit in one side and they'll bring mail or baggage on the other side. It was usually located next to the tender to avoid security problems such as stealing bags or mail. This car was considered second class, which means it was not as comfortable as a first class coach. And here you can see some of the seats. They were not probably as nice. This is probably upgraded. And this is another one from the Oahu Railway and Land Company. And this one was used for short trips in Hawaii. And so during the mid-1950s, they brought it from Hawaii to Traveltown. And in Traveltown, they used it for short ride trips around the perimeter or close to Traveltown. And this one here is the Haskell and Barker caboose, Western Pacific number 754, built in 1910. You can barely see something inside. They probably had the tools and everything inside. And this is an oil tank, number 670, built in 1911 for the Richfield oil. And this is a tender, pretty long tender, huh? Part of the Western Pacific Railroad. And this is the engine number 26. And like I said, this is engine number 26, and it's a consolidation type steam locomotive. Or what do you have here? Oh, you can ride the mini train for $4. Take you around the Cabotan perimeter, about 2 laps. It's pretty nice. But anyway, this is a consolidation type steam locomotive built in 1904 by Alco, and it was designed to haul freight. There were about 13 of these series. That's all the built, 13 of these. This is a pretty nice train. And well, this one worked for about 45 years, and it's considered one of the last of this type to work, to be in use. Unfortunately, you cannot get inside the cab. Now we're over the other side of the tracks, and there's a couple of passenger cars, but these ones are called sleeping cars. This one here, the red one, probably was built in 1940s, and the one on the left, these are the ones we saw. These are freight cars. They were hauling a cattle or livestock, horses and stuff like that. This one here, the one on the left, it's number 6636. This is considered a sleeping car. It was nicknamed the Rose Bowl, and it was built in 1937 by the Pullman Company. In August 1939, there was a derailment that took place in a bridge near Nevada. 24 people died during that night and injuring 121 passengers. This sleeping car sustained minimum damages. This yellow passenger car is a Union Pacific LA 701 named the Little Nugget, built in 1937 by Pullman Dormitory Club Car. It was the most luxurious club lounge for the train's first-class passengers. It was part of the newest trains called the Streamliner. It represented the best technology at the time. Oh, we saw that one already. I think it was in the other previous couple of minutes. But this represented the most luxurious, the best technology at the time.
Let's go to the other side. They're fixing that one now, renovating it. So the oldest train here.
I think there are about 3 more trains to see. And this one here is engine number 7, the Prairie. Usually 1902 by Alco's Dixon plant. It was built for the Minnesota Land and Construction Company, sold in 1909 to Sharp and Fellows, which is a company dedicated to the rebuilding and maintaining and demolishing railroad tracks. Yeah, that's all I could find about this train. That's all information I found. This is engine number 56, built by Baldwin in 1955 for the McCloud River Road. Then California Western Railroad used it from 1970 to 1992. And this is another, it's probably one of the last trains. This one coming up.
Well, that's some dents, huh? It's only hit a cow or something. Oh yeah. It hit something.
And this is steam locomotive number 664, and it was one of the 45 of this series built by Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1999 for Hutchinson, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway. It was used to haul freight across Texas and Oklahoma. It was used from 1899 to 1953. And unfortunately, you can't get inside the cab. And I think there were only three cabs that you can get inside. Yeah, so yeah, it was a great place to learn about steam engines, passenger cars, and freight and stuff like that. The one you see in front of us is a diesel wrecker crane built in 1942 with a U.S. Navy utility flat car. You can get it over the way there because it's a fence. But the jewel of this travel town is the engine number 1 called Mariposa. This locomotive was built by Norris Locomotive Works in 1864 for the original Western Pacific Railroad. Since there was no railroad tracks connecting the West Coast to the East Coast, they shipped it from Pennsylvania, where it was built, around Cape Horn, around Chile. Once it arrived in San Francisco, they used it to build America's first transcontinental railroad, which was completed in 1869. There were about only 10 built of this kind of engine. And this is it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as I did, and have a great day.